Good evening, everyone.
Hey there.
Good
Hi.
evening.
How you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you.
Hello.
Good evening.
We've got about 2 or 3 minutes before we'll begin. People are still coming on, so I'm going to give it about 30 seconds more just to make sure we get everybody. Okay, Carrie, why don't you do roll call?
Yes. Got it. Martine Cazada. Oh, you're sorry.
Here.
Jose Arenas.
Here.
Hilda Ortega Rosales.
Here.
Jet White.
Here.
Susan Sarin.
Here.
There being 5 members, there is a quorum.
I'll call the regular meeting of the Pendergast Elementary School District to order. As a reminder, Please mute your microphones when others are speaking and unmute when it's your turn. This will help with any background noise. And welcome everyone that is joining us on Facebook tonight. Effective immediately and until further notice, the Pendergast School District Governing Board will be enforcing the Center for Disease Control guidance to limit all public gatherings to 10 people. As such, this meeting will be held telephonically with no public in-person attendance. There will be no call to the public, and this is referenced by Arizona Attorney General's opinion dated March 13th, 2020. And it concerns Arizona's open meeting law and COVID-19. And again, thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. First on the agenda, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Jet made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Arena seconded. Is there any discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Pizzatta,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes,
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
thank you. And next is the Be Recognized Award for October 2020. This month, we recognize 6 outstanding individuals who contribute to the excellence of their schools and departments in Pendergast. Thanks to their colleagues who nominated them, we recognize and share their success this evening. Dr. DeBlue, do you want to read the recognitions?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, staff members and members of the community. It's exciting to see all of you today. Many of you I don't get to see as often, so welcome to our board meeting. I am proud to introduce the B winners for this month. I'm going to start with Debbie Beaver, Behavior Specialist in the Educational Services Department. Debbie has been chosen as a Be Recognized Award winner for October because she has always gone above and beyond as an employee in each position she has held. She is the district behavior specialist and interacts with students on all 12 campuses. Her colleagues believe they should highlight her willingness to step up into the safe haven for the students who need supervision during the day, while in distance learning due to parents needing to report to work outside the home, children in foster care, and children experiencing homelessness. Debbie asked what she should do to assist and has been with the children daily since reporting to the Pendergast Community Center. She has worked on scheduling, and the instructional assistants see her as a leader, setting the positive tone of the environment. She interacts from a safe distance with the students and keeps up the overall morale with students and staff. She always presents an encouraging I can do it attitude, which builds into everyone who enters the Pendergast Community Center and the safe haven for the students. Debbie is best described as joyously unrestrained, exuberant, and masterful. We are so fortunate to have Debbie in PESD, and we congratulate her on this award. Congratulations, Debbie. We're so proud of you. All right, next we have Amy Christopher, Director of School Improvement and Program Development. Amy has been chosen as the October Be Recognized Award winner because she is an amazing director, role model, and leader for everyone in her department and in the district. Since last March, Amy has been working like 4 people, leading the Pendergast Community Safe Haven on-site support, writing and winning grants, and jumping in whenever is needed. She is known for her empathy, incredible attitude, and precise work. Amy is respected by all who work with her, and she sets the bar at the highest level to ensure that everything is accomplished to the max. With the onset of the pandemic, extra care and challenges have come up, and Amy has seen to it that through teamwork and collaboration, that everyone gets the support they need, and the district has been able to receive extra measures of care and assistance. Amy was instrumental in providing the details and accountability for the City of Phoenix Census 2020 grant that helped to connect the Pendergast community through over 700 phone calls with census and district information. The schools have benefited from her grants and continued levels of support. Amy is beloved and appreciated for all she does for the Pendergast district, its staff, students, and families to help everyone thrive. Congratulations, Amy. We're very proud of you. All right, next I have Bridget Dolfo, a parent from Desert Mirage School. The team at Desert Mirage would like to acknowledge Bridget Dolfo as a Be Recognized Award winner for October. Bridget is described as empathetic, involved, patient, and amazing. Bridget is a parent of an exceptional student and has always been an active participant in her child's education and a great member of the team. With recent events due to COVID-19, the Exceptional Student Services Evaluation Team has had to change practices for students who receive special education services. Mrs. Dolfo has demonstrated kindness to all her team members during a challenging time, even bringing a delicious treat to a meeting to show her appreciation. Mrs. Dolfo is an amazing partner in her children's education. She works in unison with the school and demonstrates support and best interests with every interaction. She is a pleasure to work with and is so caring and warm to all the employees at Desert Mirage. When anyone speaks to these wonderful parents, she makes them feel special and respected. Additionally, her warm smiles and waves to the school staff as she drops and picks up her students are so appreciated and makes everyone's day brighter. Bridget, thank you for being an awesome parent and partner with Desert Mirage Elementary School and Pendergast. Congratulations, Bridget. We're proud of you. And next we have Leah Froke, instructional coach at Rio Vista School. Leah has been chosen as the Be Recognized Award winner for October for her selfless, devoted, and genuine nature. Leah has been working tirelessly throughout the summer and now that virtual school is in season to ensure that Rio Vista is running smoothly both in person and behind the scenes. She has taken on the role of substitute assistant principal while Marlene Benison is on maternity leave, helping out whenever needed. Additionally, she assists new teachers to get acclimated to their classrooms and roles and veteran teachers to navigate distance learning. She is a new teacher mentor, a technology coach, a curriculum specialist, an assessment coordinator, a counselor, always willing to listen and solve problems, and so much more. Leah gives freely of herself and never says no when asked for help. Leah would never want to be singled out for doing her job, but she deserves to know that she is appreciated for all that she is and all that she does. She is always positive and willing to go the extra mile for anyone who needs assistance. Rio Vista students and staff are so grateful to Leah for all that she does, and we are proud to have her as a Rio Vista Mustang and a Pendergast believer. Congratulations, Leah. We're proud of you. And next we have Mackenzie Oliver, 6th grade teacher at Garden Lake School. Mackenzie has been chosen as a Be Recognized Award winner for October because she is a dedicated, thoughtful, genuinely wonderful person who goes out of her way to help everyone regardless of her own time constraints. She makes the effort to build meaningful connections with all of her colleagues and students. She spends her weekends creating amazing interactive lessons to teach in her classroom each and every day. She has gone above and beyond to create a positive learning environment throughout virtual learning. She builds relationships with each individual student daily through daily check-ins. She also has created a fun and exciting reward system for the 6th grade team where they mail out stickers and postcards to the students for doing their best. She is kind and thoughtful and always knows what to do in any situation. She's an incredible colleague and mentor to everyone. Garden Lakes is so fortunate to have Mackenzie as part of the 6th grade team as she helps us all to do and be the best. Congratulations, Mackenzie, you are a superstar. Congratulations, we're so proud of you. And last but not least, Melissa Ward, 6th grade science teacher at Westwind Elementary School. Melissa, you have been chosen as a Be Recognized Award winner for October because you are generous with your time and knowledge, motivated and a hard worker, always looking for new and improved ideas. You are described as a rock star at Westwind since the pandemic began and everyone switched to distance learning. You are the go-to person for anything having to do with technology. You make videos and how-to guides for Synergy and Google Classroom. You always seem to be ahead of the curve, trying out and troubleshooting new platforms and tools to use with students in class. You are always on the lookout for ways to make technology easier to navigate and use. Your colleagues say that they would not have made it through without your help. You have Zoomed with many teachers, many different grade levels, making sure that Westwind students are getting the best education possible. You do all of this while juggling your own children at home. You are deserving of recognition for all you are and all you do for your fellow teachers and students, always with a positive attitude and a belief in others. Thank you for being amazing. We happily celebrate you and your dedication to Westwind School and the Pendergast School District. Congratulations, Melissa. We're so proud of you. Thank you, Madam President. Those are our B Award winners for the month of October. We're so proud of each and every one of them and wish them continued success as they navigate throughout the year within their schools and within the district. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, congratulations to our October B Award winners. Thank you for everything you do day in and day out to help our students. We really appreciate it. You all deserve another round of applause. Thank you so much. And next on our agenda is a summary of current events from the superintendent and the governing board. Dr. DeBlue, do you want to start off?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, those of us joining on Zoom, welcome again. What can I say? I just called out several of our finest employees who have just been nominated and were selected to be recognized winners. You know, what I can tell you is this is the quality of the staff that we have at Pendergast and the work that's being done day in and day out, even throughout this pandemic. We are open. We are not open until further notice, making sure that we keep everybody safe. So my comments today are just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our amazing board, to these award winners, and to all the staff that's making it happen this semester. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Dr. DeBlue. Mr. White?
Thank you, Madam President. I was jotting down some notes earlier, and Lauren said make sure to start with hello and greet everybody. So hello. Hope everybody's having a good evening, and thanks for joining us on Facebook and on Zoom. Just again, thank you to the Be Recognized winners for all of your hard work and everything that you do. And I know that translates out to the staff as well, and everything that staff members are doing that weren't recognized today, that are still working their tails off as well. It's frustrating. My internet went out today in the middle of a lesson, so it can be frustrating, but also very rewarding and understanding. And it's good to have resilient students as well. And let's see, Friday, I think I got an email as the parent luncheon. Again, I appreciate the recorded program, right? Not being able to catch that live. So thank you for offering that for parents who can't make it live, but if you can make it, always a great opportunity to do so. And then just real briefly, Election Day is a week from today. So make sure my phone blows up all day long with potential spam calls, with text messages, which I appreciate. But if you haven't voted yet or are thinking about, whether or not you're going to, our very own Pendergast Community Center is a place to do so. And it has really, really flexible hours. It's right over there by Via de Paz. Arrowhead Mall, if you find yourself out, hopefully wearing a mask and hopefully socially distancing. But Arrowhead Mall, the food court, you can go get some teriyaki chicken samples and then drop your ballot off. And then State Farm Stadium will have a drive-through drop-off actually starting on Saturday. So that's kind of interesting as well. So just again, thank you to all the staff that are working hard and just putting in those long hours to make sure those lessons are great. I know that Lauren has PE for her specials this rotation, and she's just jumping around the house and staying engaged with everything that's happening there. So again, just keeping that momentum going after fall break. I know that these next couple weeks always seem to kind of drag a little bit before Thanksgiving and then a little bit before the winter holiday. So just hoping that everybody takes care of themselves as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. White. Mr. Arenas?
Yeah, I'll be very quick. I'll be quick, excuse me. Good evening, everyone, and sincere congratulations to the B October award winners. And yes, a big thank you to each and every one of you and your staffs and your respective colleagues, because you are really doing all the work. You're pushing the envelope, and you're working in the trenches and the front lines, and keeping our students safe, secure, and educated. A special shout out to Garden Lakes. That's where my grandson attends. He's done a wonderful job. He was here at the Greenbelt a few weeks ago, and we were out there trying to get some social distancing, but some exercise, get on out there with the grandkids, and it was really neat. He got to talk to a group of kids. One conversation led to another. Well, it happened to be that they were classmates. So this was the first time that he was able to meet a classmate in person on the playground. And he was, yeah, this is my teacher's name. This is where I go. And so that was pretty powerful for little Gabriel. So he's having a wonderful time. Again, a shout out to Garden Lakes. Yeah, and last but not least, I certainly do want to just, without getting to the whole, without repeating, and in the spirit of time, I'm not going to repeat everything about voting because it's important. It's been said already. But I did vote, and I've already sent in my ballot, and I said it, and I sent it this year in honor and in memory of Miss Ortega, Hilda's mother. So Hilda, that's for your family.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
all I have.
Arenas. Ms. Ortega Rosales.
Thank you, Madam President. I am really looking forward to our next parent meeting, luncheon. I am particularly interested in learning more about the tips that we will be giving our parents in trying to manage through the virtual process, and the tutoring that we are being offered through the City of Avondale Library. It's a great partnership, and it demonstrates that our community is still in support of everything we do to educate our kids, even during these difficult times. I too want to encourage people to vote. I'm not going to say any more other than this is extremely important. It's an opportunity to express your voice. If you haven't submitted your ballot, please do so as soon as possible. We all know, as our superintendent has mentioned, our COVID numbers a little bit slightly increased in the last couple of weeks, and we all know that Halloween is an exciting time for our kids, and so parents, staff, if you plan to do any kind of Halloween activity, please be safe, in particular in our community because of our numbers. The Pendergast Facebook page has some excellent tips on alternative ways to celebrate Halloween beyond what we're used to in the traditional trick-or-treat manner. Take the time to read that. I think it's a good opportunity for our kids to have that activity. It helps them to get away from, that staring at the screen all day, but I encourage you to do it safely. I also would like to acknowledge, as I'm reading our weekly reports, I find that the Exceptional Students Department that is led by Ms. Gwen Parker are doing some excellent work despite, again, the challenges of trying to serve our exceptional students. On-site evaluations are being done at the PCC, and we continue to support our virtual learning process, and it's difficult for our kids to be able to engage and to learn through that process. But based on the reports that we have, I believe this is the best that could be expected, and I congratulate every one of those individuals in that department for everything that they do for our kids. And again, thank you.
Thank you. Senator Quesada.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First of all, just congratulations to all of the be recognized award winners. I'm always impressed by all the great things that you guys are doing, and that's no different today. I'm just really impressed by all that you do. So thank you for all that you do for our districts and for our community. So congrats to you all. A quick COVID update. I was texting with my colleague, Ms. Ortega Rosales, earlier, and she reminded me that one of my colleagues in the legislature, Representative Raquel Terán, who represents a district just east of us in District 30, she tested positive for COVID just the other day. And I was actually working with her on an event on Saturday. Later that day, Saturday, she went home to meet with a group of family, you know, and we're all starting to relax a little bit and get together with family. And she did that. And it turns out she ended up catching COVID. Her husband, and I believe even her young infant son tested positive as well. The last I talked to her, she's doing fine. I mean, she's not symptomatic, but that's still a scary situation. And so I just want to remind everybody that, yeah, just like others have said, the numbers are still up. The numbers are still high in our areas, in our communities. And just to please be careful. I know that we're all getting tired of it. And everywhere I go, we're, you know, even just having regular conversations with people in the community, and we're getting worn out from all this COVID stuff and having to wear masks and wash our hands. But the numbers are starting to rise in Arizona and across the nation, really. So we're not clear of this yet. So we really need to kind of step up our efforts to take care of ourselves and to take care of each other. Kind of along those lines, the third thing I wanted to mention, you know, with all of the COVID situations that's been happening this year, the state has been offering unemployment insurance benefits to people, and also some rental assistance benefits. And we get, through my office at the Capitol, we get reports of how many people are taking advantage of those benefits and of those programs. And right now, with the rental assistance, there's still a lot of people who are eligible for it, but are not applying for it. So my advice to you is, if you know anybody who is having trouble getting those bills paid, those rent or mortgage payments paid, we're coming to the first of the month in just a couple of days. Have them look online and check out that rental assistance program that we have. And if they have any problems with it, to call my office, and I'd be happy to, my office would be happy to walk you through that. As far as unemployment insurance, people know how to work that system better, and they are applying, but our state, our DES, is not very good at handling all of those requests, because there's a lot more requests right now than there usually are. And so a lot of those requests are being heavily delayed. And so what's happening is they have so many requests right now that people are waiting weeks and weeks before they even get a response from the state. So what's happening is they're calling our offices, the legislators' offices, and then we can then, if you're having trouble, if you're not getting any response, you're not getting approved, or you're having trouble just kind of working that system and applying, call my office. We will talk to DES, and that'll get your request prioritized at the top of that list. And I've already done that for a number of people in our community. So teachers, if you know of students whose parents are struggling with unemployment or with rental assistance, please direct them to that, to check that out online, or to even just call my office, and I'd be happy to help them out with that. And then lastly, I just want to echo everyone to cast your ballots and vote. I did get some numbers. I get some updates of the numbers of the returns and how well we're doing. And there are parts of our county right now where there's as much as 65% returns. So 65% of the population, the voting eligible population, are casting their ballots. That's fantastic. But here in our district, right here in Pendergast, Pendergast is split into legislative district 29 to the north. That's my district that I represent, and district 19 to the south. Those two districts are the lowest turnout districts in the entire county. District 19, which is south of Pendergast, that's everything south of Indian School. For us, we only have a 35.19% return. And then LD 29, which is everything north of Indian School, we only have a 35.09% return. So we need our people to vote. And as you are probably aware, all of these things really tie together. Our community's facing a lot. They're facing higher numbers of COVID infection rates. They're facing higher numbers of unemployment, higher numbers of struggling with getting their rent paid, and they're trying to find ways to put food on the table. And so voting, it kind of starts to fall on that list of priorities when you've got other really urgent and basic needs that you need to take care of. So we need to help each other out and get them to vote. A good website to check out is iwillvote.com, or I think it's yovoyavotar.com. So check that out. It's an easy one, iwillvote.com, and it'll give you all the information that you need. That's a national website. It's being used all over the country, but it will direct you to all of the resources that you need to find a place to make sure you get your votes cast. And the last thing, it is too late to mail back your ballots. So if you want to get your ballot counted, do not put it in the mail after today. You need to go drop it off at one of those drop-off sites or voting locations. So with that, thank you, Madam President, and look forward to the rest of the meeting.
Thank you so much. And let's see, I just want to update my colleagues. It was virtual, the Arizona School Board Association Delegate Assembly. It was supposed to be from 9 o'clock till noon. And unfortunately, it was from 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock. We had one person just didn't like many of the items that we were voting on. And so that took time. And but I've got to say that we did approve all of the items, including the COVID-19, the new items for COVID-19. Also, and this took about 40 minutes, one item. It was to amend the current statute to allow school board members to use the e-qual system in addition to in-person signatures to appear on the ballot. That did pass, that ASBA will lobby for that, and that is a very good thing, and I want to explain a little bit. We have 3 board members that were up for re-election this year, Mr. White, Mr. Arenas, and Ms. Ortega Rosales. I've got to tell you, they struggled to get the signatures because we were in the midst of when COVID, some of our numbers were the highest numbers. And to go door to door, that was impossible. So, they had to just ask people. Many put the clipboards by the front door, had them sign, and then would pick up. So there was no contact. It took a lot of time to do this, and I want to commend Hilda, Jet, and Jose for getting the signatures, and they will be on our board for the next 4 years. So, that is fantastic. But for future, hopefully, the legislature will pass the e-qual system for board members too. Every other person that needs to get on a ballot, every elected official can use the e-system to get signatures, but board members could not. So it was an oversight. So hopefully in the future that will pass, and it will be a little bit easier if we have another pandemic, which hopefully we won't. And the other night, there was the Virtual Teacher of the Year Awards, and I want to just give another shout out to Shaylin Savage for being our Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, we appreciate it. And so our B award winners, we welcome you to stay, but if you need to leave, feel free to leave the meeting tonight. It's up to you as to what you want to do. And again, just like my colleague says, please go out and vote. Also, you can track when they get your ballot and when they verify the signature. You can sign up for that. So that's a nifty little thing. I got the 2 text messages saying, hey, we received your ballot, and then in the other one to say we verified your signature. So you know for sure your ballot is there and it's going to be counted. And the election locations, as mentioned, the PCC and the PLC, and on election day also at Rio Vista. So please, everyone, vote. And thank you, everyone, for everything you do. We appreciate all the hard work going on, and parents and community. Thank you, too, for your patience. We are not opening because it still is not safe to open. And we thank you for helping your child get through the online. We do appreciate it. Thank you. And next on our agenda is consent agenda items A through G. I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items A through G. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Ortega Rosales, second. Any discussion? Carrie, roll call.
Martin Cazada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes.
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
Thank you. Dr. DeBlue, are there any announcements or new hires?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, and everyone joining us for the board meeting. We have one new employee just approved by the board, Marilee Ellingson, certified special education teacher at Sonoran Sky. Congratulations and welcome to Pendergast, a district that believes in you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Congratulations. And next, Educational Services has a presentation. Dr. Cruz, do you want to talk to us about the curriculum audit?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. DeBlue, cabinet, and our audience. I would love to talk with you about the curriculum audit. Dr. DeBlue was pretty clear. She said we only had a couple of hours, so we'll make sure that we keep it brief for all of you. That you got some things going on. I'm really happy to be joined this evening by Dr. Marr. Gwen recently joined our team in July, and so later in the presentation you will get an opportunity to hear from her as well as we go through our presentation and give you an update on the work that we've been doing. Just going to share my screen and check in with y'all. Make sure that everyone can see that. Is that working for you? All right, fantastic. You know, last year, one of the things that we needed to do was kind of take a moment of pause to figure out where we were in the process of the curriculum audit, how much work had gotten done, and then what was our direction moving forward. And as we spoke last year, I think the board will remember that, you know, the things that we were looking at in terms of the inputs were, you know, obviously direction from the board, our Pendergast integrated action plan. So that's the plan that we put together for the state and also for the federal government, because we do receive federal funding to support our students who need a little bit of extra support. So we took a look at our comprehensive needs assessment that came out from our schools and also from the district. We obviously looked at the significant findings from the curriculum audit. And then obviously our district has a strategic plan. And so we use the strategic plan as another one of those inputs. And I'm taking us back to this because I think it's important to kind of get a sense of where we've been, because it seems that time isn't quite working the way that it normally does right now. And so it's hard for us to kind of get a sense of how much time has passed and how long have we been in timeout in our houses. And, you know, I get it that right now things are a little bit hard for folks to gauge. And so I thought it would be helpful for us to kind of have that look back on what we talked about last year so that we could get the right update for where we're at right now. Obviously, through the curriculum audit, these were the 4 primary recommendations, although these are actually recommendations starting with number 2. The first recommendation, not to be rude, but was kind of none of my business because there was some work in there about governing board policies. And so certainly the governing board, you know, as a member, you know, the board association and you all are updating governing board policies as we go, you know, throughout the school year. So I didn't add that recommendation about board policy. But you can see these other 4 areas are where our focus has been. Last year, you saw that we took a look at all those different input areas, and we were focused on student achievement through effective instruction, and we had all kinds of work that we were working on, right? We were working on piloting materials, we're looking at instructional models, we're trying to figure out where we were with curriculum writing. So we're really trying to get a sense of where all the work was in progress, and then pick up that work from what had gotten done and continue to move it forward. For the remainder of these slides, then, what we did was we took the formal recommendations from the curriculum audit, we color coded them for you. The green ones are specifically the broader recommendation that we feel pretty strongly we've made really good progress in. I hate to say that it's done, you know, in the kind of work that we do on the curriculum and instruction side of the house, it's kind of like the chores. You can be real proud of yourself until the first person comes home and puts their shoes down, and all of a sudden you've got more work to do. So we consider them complete right now, knowing that we are going to need to revisit these items in the future. One of the pieces, and Dr. Marr will talk about this in a few minutes, that we're really proud of is the facilitation of the creation of a profile of a graduate. We think that's really helpful for us as we're making some decisions about next steps and how we can best serve the community. We did some work to define instructional models so that we can have common conversations about teaching and learning as an instructional team. And then we also formed curriculum writing teams and have really been working hard to get some curriculum writing done. I have to say that Dr. Mars probably had one of the fastest onboardings maybe on record, because I think that she was maybe on board for, I don't know, 48 hours. And I said, you know, we've got some curriculum writing that needs to get done. Would you mind? And I think she got more than 80 folks going on that in a heartbeat. So, you know, I appreciate her hustle and and her willingness to dive right in. And also shout out, you know, I think the work that's gotten done is really a shout out to our instructional leaders, the principals, assistant principals, the team from Ed Services, and certainly all the faculty members who, you know, got a phone call or an email and said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's get on that, right? And they willingly got to do some really, really good work. The pieces that you'll see in yellow are where we're at right now. We're actively working to wrap up that curriculum management plan. So a formal document that's really going to describe how the curriculum work gets done, you know, give some direction, you know, for the future, as in like processes that work, things that didn't work, those pieces. So we're working on that. We'll have that finished up this school year. We had a little thing that came up in March that kind of shifted our attention from some of the work that we were going to do and into just some of the shifts instructionally and some other pieces that we needed to get done in order to take care of our kids. So we had to put this on the back burner. Now we're going to be able to get back to it. And then obviously, one of the big pieces is that we needed to create a comprehensive assessment plan, including the formative and summative assessments. Dr. Marr and Mr. Wallen have an assessment team that they're facilitating. We have acquired a fantastic new assessment system that we're really excited about, and we think is really going to help us go a long way to really knowing our students. The next recommendation related to professional development, you know, we've got, you know, first off, we have someone who's actually responsible for professional development. You know, we did organizational realignment, and we think that's really helpful to have someone focused on that role. We're really excited that we have Talent LMS. So we have a learning management system that's supportive of our professional development. So we know who is taking classes and what. That system goes across all of our employees. So we're no longer just thinking about professional development for the certified faculty, but as a professional learning organization, we're thinking about the learning for all of our staff members. And so this allows all of our department heads, everyone to kind of keep track of what type of learning their staff members have engaged in. And what's cool about it for the teaching faculty, because, you know, it's kind of a pain to keep those certificates. If you're old like me, you have notebooks full of certificates from a real long time ago, and then you have to like take them down to ABE, right? And so what's nice about this is that they're all electronic. You can't lose them, and you know, your kiddo can't draw pictures on the back of them. And we think that this is a much better system for everybody involved. We're really excited about the new teacher induction program that again is, we're moving forward with those pieces. So just in general, what we've been doing is shoring up the system and making sure that the system is aligned and is aligned in ways that are going to help our students make what we hope is a lot more progress towards our long-term goals. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Marr. Dr. Marr is our Director for Curriculum and Innovation.
Good evening, Madam President, esteemed members of the board, Dr. DeBlue, Cabinet, and our amazing community. Thank you for having me this evening. As Dr. Cruz explained, we are reviewing with you this evening, obviously, the recommendations from the curriculum audit. And the fourth recommendation really is about student assessment. How are we monitoring what is being taught within the classroom? And so one of the biggest celebrations that we have is the adoption of Illuminate. Illuminate is our platform where students actually take their benchmark assessments along with our kindergarten through third grade students taking their skill-based assessments. And Illuminate is actually has been really conducive with distance learning. And so that has supported the transition to distance learning. One of the next the things that we're really working on, I would say, and the next step is really ensuring that we provide the appropriate professional development for our school administrators so that they can support their teachers to really use assessment to inform decision making. We have, as Dr. Cruz mentioned, formed an assessment team that meets weekly to ensure that we are meeting the needs and the requests from school leaders to ensure that their teachers are supported around the information that Illuminate is generating and to really ensure that we make decisions that are best for students. Our next edge of growth and something that we plan to work on is to really establish and implement a program evaluation process. So what are our desired outcomes and then the overall impact? So it's one thing to implement Illuminate, to have an assessment team, to provide professional learning, but what is the impact that we're having on students, right? How are students learning and growing and developing? And so we really need to establish an evaluation process to ensure that the actions we are taking are meeting the expectations and having the desired outcomes that we wish. The fifth recommendation that was identified through the curriculum audit was really to develop and monitor and eliminate existing and potential inequalities within the district and to ensure that we're promoting equal opportunities for all students to master the curriculum. One of the items that has seen significant progress is really the increase of STEAM programming and specialized academies. Really specifically, Rio Vista is actually partnering with Phoenix International Raceway. They're going to bring in a driver. They have a partnership with PIR, and they're very excited about that. Also, 3 of our schools are participating in an Intel grant. Actually, I apologize, it's 4. And they received Lego kits that are actually in the students' homes right now. So this transcended distance learning. And so students are actually building things and really investigating technology and engineering skills at home with their teachers. In addition, we actually have, as we know, an Ethnic Studies Academy at Pendergast. To be more concrete about what that entails, there is a Latina Studies unit during Women's History Month. They actually have developed a unit on the Philippines taught by their teachers from the Philippines. They are also providing Mandarin courses to their students. So those are, I think it's important that we speak to specifics around what those specialized programming look like, what that looks like. Next is we really, this year, and we just started actually this work really intentionally around implementing culturally responsive teaching strategies. We just today, actually, all of our school leaders and ed services We all completed 4 full days of training with an organization called Adaptive X. And they're really working with us around culturally responsive teaching strategies. The next step to this is actually there will be a group of pilot teachers who will work with their leadership teams to build this into the school culture. And then the final step is that all teachers will be receiving training around this. So it's really a scaffolded approach over 3 years to ensure that culturally responsive teaching is embedded into the fabric of what we do in Pendergast. And last, our most urgent next step is it goes with the slide before, the recommendation number 4, and really ensuring that we implement and monitor strategies to ensure that all of our different buckets of work are really aligned and really ensure that students are getting the best education possible. And so this really loops into this whole idea around the evaluation processes that we put in place to ensure that we monitor and eliminate inequalities. And as you know, last year, I understand that the board and all of the Pendergast stakeholders were involved in really creating this profile of a graduate. The profile of a graduate really represents 6 key pillars that we want our students to represent and to really have in their toolbox when they leave Pendergast Elementary School District. This is kind of, I call it like our North Star, or what grounds us in the work, because everything that we do, we want to ensure comes back to the students and what we're doing to ensure that students have a high quality education. And so the profile of a graduate is really guiding our work and is what we keep coming back to ensure that the students are at the focus of every single decision that we make. And this last slide is really about how the profile of a graduate really becomes reality. So it's one thing to say these are the items that we hope that our graduates possess, or these are the pillars that we're aiming for. But how do you make that come alive? What does that really mean? What are those action steps? What are those things that you're going to do and put in place to ensure that that becomes reality? And so as you can see, if you look from left to right, these are the 6 pillars at the top of the profile of a graduate. And these are some of the key items that we have done to ensure that the profile of a graduate becomes reality. A couple that I'd like to highlight are, as Dr. Cruz mentioned, there are 84 teachers right now that are completing a complete build out K-8 for every single content area. That includes PE, music, the arts, technology. And that's really remarkable because 84 teachers, that's 84 people with expertise who are having say in what they're actually teaching in the classroom. The other couple of items, of course, they're all very important, is the coaches, the instructional coaches at each of the buildings have come together to design a comprehensive coaching cycle that is clear for all 12 schools that really helps them support teachers in teacher growth and development. It's one thing to want everybody to be better. It's a whole nother thing to actually support them in getting there, right? And I think it's really important that we have that common language across the district on how we're going about doing that. And then of course, you'll see culturally responsive teaching again, along with the STEAM expansion at all of our schools. So we're really ensuring that we have equity across all 12 schools to ensure that STEAM is really a piece of our core instructional outlook. And at this time, we will take questions.
Does the board have questions? Mr. White?
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, so welcome, Dr. Marr. I look forward to actually meeting you in person someday, hopefully, probably in 2021, but who knows? So thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Dr. Cruz, for the presentation. First of all, I'd like the digital certificates. I think they've switched. I think it was like 5 or 6 years, and now it's up to 12. I just renewed my cert. It's like, holy moly. Like, I had to put that in a safe somewhere because there's no way to hold on to my certification. So I appreciate you have that system in place for when teachers need to renew their certs. And then also I love the pillars on that last slide of categorizing those decisions, right? And it makes it easy to look. That's a poster that you can put up on the wall and say, okay, if this is what we're going to do, where does this fit? And if it doesn't fit there, do we need to do it, right? Taking on more things isn't always necessarily just because it's a shiny object doesn't mean that we have to do it. And then a quick shout out also, I appreciate the tech standards being worked on, because I think those get often overlooked, or people don't even know that we have tech standards for K-12, right? Of knowing how to navigate a mouse, of knowing how to click on a keyboard, knowing how to drag and drop a picture, to cut and paste, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And those standards are actually out there. I guess, and then I have just a couple of questions. Going back to the professional development, which I think was maybe that second or third slide. I heard a little bit about train the trainer, I think, with the culturally responsive, but is there, I don't even know if it's a percentage, but is there a want, whatever, is there a weight to like how we're doing internal training, like how we're having teacher-led PDs versus bringing in consultants, I guess, if that makes sense? Like what is our thoughts on where that should go?
Madam President, Mr. White, I'll let Dr. Marr take that. I will say, though, that with culturally responsive teaching in particular, we are not doing a train the trainers model. and I think that's really important that we're clear about that. We brought in trained professionals, and we wish people wouldn't try this at home. The reason is that we really believe that this kind of work in particular is work that needs to grow through a ripple effect. So we are building capacity with our leaders, assistant principals, instructional coaches, and a very small group of teacher leaders. That work is going to grow next year. And then finally, we're going to have full-scale implementation across the system in year 3. It's about tier 1 instruction, and we just think that the work is so important to make sure that the system is really legitimately moving in the direction of being anti-racist and in creating a space where truly every single child is seen and honored and celebrated. And we think we shouldn't jump into that. We think that it's work that we should do with intentionality and with purpose and have some guides along the way. So that work is a little bit different. I will say that. You will absolutely see teacher-led and staff member-led professional development, frankly, as the majority of the work that we do. Dr. Martin, if you want to kind of talk about some of the numbers of folks who have actually been providing our regular professional development.
Madam President, Mr. White, that was an excellent question. To be really clear, we absolutely want to harness the leadership within our district to ensure that we are using the skills and the knowledge set within our district to provide professional learning. That being said, we also want to ensure that we provide the opportunity for teachers and district leaders, including myself, to learn from other experts. So I would say we have a mix, but the majority, around 75% to 80% of our professional learning, I would say, is in-house, provided by either district leaders or teacher leaders. So it's a pretty small percent, around 15 to 20%, that is actually provided from outside vendors, if you will. As Dr. Cruz mentioned, Adaptive X, and then we've also had a few vendors support us coming up in January with English language learners, and we're designing a whole process with that. And we have had a few outside presenters around STEAM, but other than that, most of the work has been internal.
Great. Thank you. And I think you mentioned that, Dr. Marv, just like empowering our staff members in their value, because they are the experts with our students and our community. So thank you for that. And then I guess, I don't know if there's an answer to this question necessarily, just in my experience and, talking to old timers around campus, and I guess I'm getting towards there as well, being 12 years in, 13 years in. I know when we have presentations like these, or we talk about we're going to do culturally responsive, we're going to extend STEAM. Sometimes people kind of roll their eyes and like, okay, like just give it a couple of years and we'll see what happens. And again, maybe there's not an answer to this question, but I guess like what can we do? What can I do to help continue the continuity of the work that's currently been happening, right? Because we have 84 teachers that are putting work into the curriculum. Like we're doing culturally responsive teaching, we're doing profile of a graduate, and we're moving in this really, really great direction. So just how do we not get in the way of interrupting the work that's happening? And maybe that's rhetorical, I don't know.
Madam President, members of the board, and members of the community, if I could just kind of jump in real quick. And you have a great point, Mr. White. However, I can say that in the 7 years that we've had the majority of this team together, and then hiring such quality folks that we have continued the continuity, whether it's the academies or any program we have brought in after much vetting has continued. So I think that kind of speaks for itself, the work that we've been doing, that it will continue. And I would say from the board, and anybody else jump in, is your support and understanding of the work that we're doing and engagement is really the best thing you can give us. You get it. We're so lucky to have 5 board members that truly understand that work that we're doing. We keep you very, very informed on everything, and you ask the right questions, and we move in the direction that you see fit. So, I'm confident that with this team, we'll continue on that trend. Dr. Cruz, Dr. Marr, do you have any other comments?
No, not at all. I mean, truly, Madam President, sorry, Mr. White. The work is from the direction of the board, right? And that, work happened obviously as, Dr. DeBlue and members of the board facilitated the strategic plan. So, the continuity really, I think, relates to what the community needs and, how you all work with Dr. DeBlue to bring that to bear in our schools. I see the through line. I think that it's extraordinarily consistent. I think that a large part of what organizations have to do is just align the resources, right? We have to kind of align those arrows, make sure that we're all moving in the same direction at the same rate. But the continuity is certainly there, and we're really excited because I think that in another year or two, we're going to really knock your socks off with how much work we've gotten done for kids and how really aligned and how powerful this community is for kids. We're really excited about that.
No, I agree. Thank you. And then last question, Madam President. On the first slide, just talked about a curriculum management plan. Can you just define what that phrase is for me, please?
President, Mr. White, yes. So it is literally a set of directions, some guidance on what the district's mission, vision, and values are and how that relates to curriculum. It is some of the more banal, like step-by-step, like when do we review the curriculum? Who should be involved in reviewing curriculum, right? Like that we're basically going to codify some of the things that we've been doing to make sure that the process isn't connected to a person. So you need the process and the culture of the system to outlast the person who's there at the moment. And so that's all that this does, is really codify those kind of directions, for lack of a better way to frame it, so that folks know that we value the teaching faculty. The faculty will always be a part of curriculum writing. There's a process that we engage in when we pilot curricular materials, right? We just need to make sure that we codify it. So it's really just writing down those steps. It's kind of a standard operating procedures manual for how the curriculum department works.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Other questions from the board?
Madam President, I just have a quick statement more than anything, not so much a question, but I do want to take this time to welcome Dr. Marr. Welcome to the Pendergast Elementary School District. I know you've been working. It sounds like Dr. Cruz put you to work the next day, but but thank you for being here. You've chosen a great place to be at, and I certainly hope that you know that we will value your work and we will stay in our lane, in our lanes, the respective lanes. With that said, this has been 4 years in the making. So I really appreciate, if not a little longer, Dr. DeBlue, but nonetheless, it's evolved. It's evolved to where we're at, Dr. Cruz, under your leadership. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. I think that many times when you look at situations like this, it's about doing it smart, not, working smarter, not harder. It's almost like a mission statement. I love mission statements, but there was a point in time where we wrote 20 mission statements and no one knew what the heck any of it meant. So when you look at the audit and what you've done, Dr. Cruz, under your leadership, and now with Dr. Mars on board and your respective cabinet members, I think that we're in the right place. So this didn't happen overnight, and I've been honored to have served on this board during the whole evolution, the origin of this audit. I remember that night. People were upset at me because I asked them questions, and I remembered that, and I took that personal, but I took it professionally, and that is that because I asked them questions, and then people were, well, we're going to leave. That's fine. All my questions had to do is, what are we doing with achievement? What are we doing in executing a plan? And let's not be consistently inconsistent. We had 11 silos working out there. Now I think we're doing a better job at bringing them all together. It's not to say, and you've heard me say this before, that you cannot decentralize a campus because every campus has its own personality, right? Absolutely, and I respect that, and I would never take that away. But certainly, I think as a stakeholder, I think that, and certainly as a board member, 105, that we're in the right direction. So I really appreciate what you're doing because, you've done some reorging. That doesn't happen overnight. That's important. That's part of this plan, right? And then now you're executing the plan. And I think when let me go back to reorging. Reorganization also meant moving some pieces around, putting the right people on the right bus, on the right seat. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And that wasn't easy at times. I know that. So that's helped you now get to the point where you're executing the plan. And then last but not least, you said something that really resonated with me, and that's internalizing this plan. It's our plan, it's us, it's from within. It's not outside people coming in, because I know Dr. DeBlue has a lot of friends out there. We as board members have a lot of friends out there, and we have people knocking on the door. Hey, can I go in there and do PD? You're gonna come in here, you're gonna make $100,000 to make for 2 days, and then you're gone. We don't need that. We don't need that. And again, this is not in any way saying that we can't use, there's a time and place for that. But again, so those are my takeaways. They resonated with me. Thank you for your leadership. And once again, Dr. Mar, welcome to Pendergast.
Thank you. Ms. Ortega Rosales.
Thank you, Madam President. I echo what has been shared with my two colleagues. I'm excited that we are saying that within the next 3 years, we will have what that true objective is around culturally responsive curriculum, because the scientifically based research says that when you have the right curriculum in place, our students will thrive. We don't want them just to learn. We want them to thrive, and they thrive through understanding that who they are, where they came from, is valued by the district, and that they will be taught based on that. That's what we want to see. We want to see our curriculum to be culturally responsive, and that it's part of our DNA. Because we could write beautiful curriculum, but if it's not implemented, and if it doesn't have the right resources in place, it won't go anywhere. It will just be a digital document. And so to Mr. White's question around what can we do, I think number one, what's key here is do what we are supposed to do as board members. And number one, support through resources so this can be done, implemented correctly. Hire the right people, whether it's support staff, whether it's our certified staff, whether it's our school leaders or our district leaders. They all have to embrace this culturally responsive curriculum. And when you have that, then, for instance, we're hiring the right people who will embrace this. And then most importantly, this takes money. This takes a lot of resources. And so what are we doing to prioritize our budgets, our limited budgets, to make sure it happens. And key to that is supporting any initiatives out there that will provide us that funding for us to do it right. And so I think we're on the right track. We have done some incredible things with dual language in our lower grade levels. We've done some incredible work in our academies with ethnic studies, but to me, that's not enough. That's not in our DNA yet. And not to take away from what we've done, but we need to get further. And I would like to see some kind of update on this, obviously through the curriculum audit presentations that you do. But I think this is so important that I'd like to spend more time on it, just on this subject, if possible. I know during this time it's difficult, so I'll be patient, but we need to keep working on this. It's too important. We won't get to our graduate profile at the level that we need to, and at the time frame that we want, if we don't do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Senator Quesada?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Dr. Cruz and Ms. Mar, for your presentation. Welcome to the district. Obviously, I just want to echo that. A couple of questions. Actually, Ms. Ortega Rosales really kind of hit on what I was going to talk about with the funding and everything, because but I want to come back to that in a minute. But I agree with her. She said it very eloquently and better than I could have. But I want to go back and touch on something that Dr. Cruz, you mentioned. You said kind of a key word in there that I picked up on, and that we have an anti-racist philosophy in adopting a lot of these changes. And I heard that, and I like that. I agree with it. But I also know that that kind of philosophy can be jarring to people who are not familiar with it, with the underlying kind of theories behind it. And I'm wondering what the response has been to implementing this type of way of thinking, because it's a different way of thinking about everything, about just the way of doing business. And I'm wondering what the response has been, if we've had any kind of pushback on it, which I expect we would, because it's natural to have that type of pushback, and how we're addressing that. And I know that's kind of a big, broad question, but I was curious about that.
Madam President, Senator Quesada, I also anticipated pushback. I completely understood, kind of the space that we're creating, and the tension that can cause. And I will tell you that I was absolutely incorrect in my anticipation of pushback from the group of people that we started the work with. And I think, it's really important to, kind of reach back to my conversations with Dr. DeBlue in talking about the curriculum audit, right? And the recommendations from the curriculum audit are extraordinarily clear, that we have work to do to make sure that our students of color, particularly our Black and Brown students, are performing at the same rates and in the same ways as our white students. Right now, the equity gap is so significant. If we continued along the path that we were on at the time of the audit, which we are not on that path anymore, but had we remained on that path, it would have taken about 20 years for those students to catch up. That is completely unacceptable. Dr. DeBlue told me it was unacceptable. I know from all of you that's unacceptable. So that means that the community has given us a charge then to make an environment where every single student is valued and honored and is celebrated, and they're in a place where they can genuinely learn and thrive. So that in order to do that, we have to be an anti-racist organization. We have to be. And so we started intentionally with the leaders because we set the tone.
Right.
I mean, it just, you have to, if the community is asking for something and the data is showing something, and we have experts come in and point out the obvious, which you all had already pointed out, which Dr. DeBlue had already pointed out, but here's the obvious. Someone nice came along and wrote it down. Thank you. Where do we start the work? right? We start the work with leaders and with groups of teacher leaders so that we can make sure that we're really shifting the culture of the organization in a positive direction. So do I anticipate some pushback? I do, because I think that any real work is hard. I think that any real legitimate work is emotional. I think that, you know, you start to really question some of the decisions you've made in the past, some of the things that you either said or done that maybe weren't good for other humans. And, you know, for better or worse, I think that educators bring their hearts to this work. And I think that when an educator reflects on the work that they've done and it's maybe less than what they expected themselves, it's disappointing. So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be hard on people. I do, but I think it's going to be hard on people because they care so deeply and because we're so deeply committed to doing the right thing for this community of kids. So far, the feedback that I've received has been positive. Dr. Marr, I don't know if you've received anything but positive feedback. It's been hard, but it's been positive largely. I don't know, Dr. Marr, have you received any feedback beyond that?
No. Madam President, Senator Quesada, I think your question is an excellent question. And to answer Dr. Cruz's question, the answer is no. The feedback has been, it has been actually overwhelmingly positive in that I too was braced for pushback. To say that people aren't struggling or haven't had to look within themselves would be false. But if you could have been a bird or, you know, a fly on the wall listening to some of the conversations even today from some of our leaders, our district leaders saying, I need to do better here, I need to do better there, you would be blown away. I have been nothing but impressed since joining this district 4 months ago, and I feel sincerely honored to be here, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And after the 4 days of training that we have undergone as a leadership team, I can say without a doubt that this is one special district. And hold on to your hats, because this is going to be, I saw Mr. White's comment for the next few years, but this is going to be an exciting ride. It's not always going to be easy, but it's going to be exciting. So.
Well, no, thank both of you, Dr. Cruz and Dr. Marr. Thank you. That's great to hear, because that means we're off to a good start. And I think if we are truly committed to this philosophy and this approach, we can continue to expect that there will be some more pushback in the future. And I think that's the point, because, you know, in this type of work, you are intentionally, trying to make people uncomfortable, because that's the only way that we're going to address a lot of these issues, is by having some very difficult conversations and looking at the structures of what we do and why we do it, and changing them, sometimes pretty dynamically. And so that's very uncomfortable, and it changes what we're used to. And so I would only ask that as we move forward, just kind of keep us updated on that pushback that's sure to come, and as long as we find a way to kind of deal with that pushback in a healthy way, which I'm completely positive you will. I think that's what's best, because it's a learning opportunity, and it's learning a new way of just kind of functioning as educators here in this district. So thank you for that work, and thank you for taking that approach and for being willing to express it in those words, because, you know, it's even just saying the words are often, it's a turnoff to a lot of people, you know. So being willing to say those words and to be strong about moving forward in that direction, I think takes a lot of guts, and it takes a lot of professionalism to do it in the right way. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So thank you for that. Moving forward, kind of to touch on kind of what Ms. Ortega Rosales was mentioning, but like I'm looking at like recommendation 5, which ties right into that conversation. But I'm looking at some of those items on that slide, and those all have dollar signs next to them. Obviously, and so those are some of the more expensive ones. And so I guess my request, to everybody, to Dr. DeBlue especially, is when we start working on our budget, I don't expect that we will be able to fund all of this right away. I mean, that's going to be impossible to do that. But I would like to see us have a plan of how we intend to get there in the future, and to use it and to reference back to this curriculum audit when we make our recommendation, or when Dr. Blue, you and your team make your recommendations about our budget proposal to us as a board. Kind of put it in terms of where we are in this audit and where we intend to be in 2 years and 4 years and 6 years, or however long it takes. And I think that'll be really helpful to kind of put this all into, just kind of bring all of these separate conversations together into one. I think that would be really helpful. But thank you guys for all the great work you guys are doing. I appreciate it.
And excuse me, Dr. Marr, Dr. Cruz, thank you for an excellent presentation and for updating us on what you're doing with the curriculum audit. I know a lot of thought, a lot of hard work is going into this, and I want to thank you for that, along with the 84 teachers that are helping with it, and for all of our teachers and all of our administrators for working on it and embracing it and moving forward with it. I appreciate all of you. I truly do. And like my colleague said, yes, I'd like to see updates, in the future on how it's going, what's going on, the budget, as Senator Casada said. But I really appreciate everything you have done for our students. This is fantastic. I appreciate it. And Dr. Mark, congratulations on being in the district. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you. And next on the agenda, does any of the board members want to see a future agenda item? There being none. Let's see, the next board meeting will be November 17th, and it will be at 6 p.m. and it'll be right here on Zoom and live on Facebook. And again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the presentation and all the conversation that went along with it. Thank you again for our October B Award winners. Thank you for everything you do. And have a good rest of your evening. And again, thanks for joining us. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam President,
Yeah.
before we go to the motion, I know earlier we approved the agenda, and then there were some HR items, and Victoria Walker has retired. She is a Garden Lakes teacher, 28 years serving our kids, and I just believe it's important for us to give her a shout out. She's an incredible teacher. We are going to miss her dearly, and know that we wish you the best, and that we respect your decision, and we look forward to maybe some other time having you around us again. Thanks for everything you did for our kids.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So is there a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Senator Casada, second. Carrie, roll call.
Martin Casada,
Yes.
Jose Arenas,
Yes.
Hilda Ortega Rosales,
Yes.
Jet White,
Yes.
Susan Sarin.
Yes,
There being 5 in favor, the motion carries.
thank you. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night.